In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the MSR Freelite 2 Ultralight 2-person tent. So back in May, I was invited up to the Lake District by Outdoors Magic magazine to be part of their testing team for the Outdoor 100. And one of the bits of gear I got to test was the MSR Freelite 2 tent. So this is the MSR Freelite 2 Ultralight backpacking tent. It's got a trail weight of 910 grams or 2 pounds. But the pack weight, including this bag and the tent pegs, is a shade over a kilo. In the supplied bag, it's quite long and thin, but if you separate the poles, you can squash this down really small. Let's get everything unpacked and take a closer look. There's 2 poles. The inner tent. The fly sheet and a small packet of tent pegs. So I'll get this set up and I'll go through a few more of the specs. So this tent actually pitches with the inner tent first. Normally I prefer an outer fly pitch first because it does rain a lot here in the UK. And most of the tents I get pitch both outer and inner at the same time, which is even better. So it's as simple as just pegging out the 4 corners first. And then get the poles. There's actually 2. There's one big pole, which is like a 3-arm construction. These 2 shorter arms fit into these little eyelets on the end of the tent. And there's a little eyelet in the middle at the other end of the tent. Then you simply just clip things on. There's not many of these little clips. Just work your way around the tent. So you get to this top bit where things change a little bit. There's a small section of pole which fits into these little eyelets on the end over the top of the main pole. Bit fiddly. And then these last 2 little clips just go on top. So there you have your main tent living area. This is brilliant for when the weather is going to be like this. Guaranteed no rain. You don't need to put the fly on. You're going to get optimum ventilation, but full protection from the bugs. So that is where one of these tents where you pitch the inner first actually comes into its own. Because you don't need to have a fly sheet on top. If the weather does turn for the worst, just get the fly sheet out of the bag and get yourself covered up. So before we get the fly sheet on, we'll have a look at some of the features. So it's got a double zip on this tent, which means you can actually zip things up one-handed, whereas these donut shaped kind of ones, occasionally you need 2 hands to unzip them. Little tie backs for the doors. There's quite a deep bathtub floor. That should keep the elements out once your fly's on top. It's got little reinforced lifters on each of these corners. And there's a door on the opposite side as well. So if you are going with a partner or friend, then you don't have to climb over each other to get in and out of the tent. Take a look inside. All of the seams are taped, so they will be fully waterproof. The headroom in here is insane. Perfect amount of space inside. You can actually get 2 50-centimetre sleeping pads in here, so you can sleep 2 people. However, as always, I reckon a 2-person tent is a 1-person tent. A 3-person tent is a 2-person tent, especially if you want a little bit of comfort. Some great little storage pockets in here, somewhere to put your phone. It's also gadget friendly apparently, so you can put your cables through there. However, I'd probably just put my charger up there as well, so I don't really need these little holes. There's one on the opposite side too, and more pockets in the side, so plenty of storage space. So these poles are DAC poles, 8.7 millimeters. The peak height of the tent is bang on a metre. There's plenty of netting around this tent, so the ventilation's superb. This is a 10 denier micro mesh, they call it. And this bathtub material is a 15 denier ripstop nylon with a DuraShield coating. So I'll pop the fly sheet on now. But before that, a quick thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring the video today. So if you're not sure who Squarespace are, they're a platform that makes setting up your own website or domain really easy. It's perfect for everyday people like you and me that want something simple so they can set up a website of their own. All I did was chose a website, added my own photos and text, and then just move things around with the drop and drag format. And then within a couple of hours, I had a website set up from scratch. One of my favorite features is the mobile app. It allows me to track the analytics to see what traffic's coming to my website, check up on stock levels and recent orders. You don't need to have a shop. There's templates for pretty much anything. So if you're a blogger, a photographer, then Squarespace has got something for you. So if you want to have a go at setting up a website of your own, then head over to squarespace.com/Paul Messner or click the link in the description below. You'll get a totally free trial and 10% off your first purchase. All right, let's imagine that it's just started raining. Time to get this fly sheet on. So the fly can only go on one way. It's got these little eyelets on it as well, so it just clips onto the same pole. Same on that side. The inside of the fly's got little eyelets as well. So you hook these on to this little cross pole. There's also some little Velcro tabs which holds the fly to the pole, a little bit of extra stability. There's no eyelet on this end of the tent. So the tent does come with some guy lines, but not for every one of the tie-out points. So I've had to put some guy line on myself, although I don't need to guy everything out for these conditions. But when the wind comes, you definitely want to guy things out, because this is a big old panel there. And I'm not sure how that would fare in really strong winds. So first up, it's a really good looking tent. Loads of room inside and two big vestibule areas for storing your gear. That huge red panel catches your eye straight away. So this area, it's like your tent inner, so effectively this part is single skin. So the elements could, you would think would get through there. However, from my experience so far, I had zero condensation on this part of the tent. To be fair, I've not had any condensation on the fly either. And putting that down to being such a really well ventilated tent. Let's have a look at the vestibule. So you've got enough space in there for a medium-sized backpack. Bit of a cooking area here as well. The fly sheet is made of 15 denier ripstop nylon as well. Again, that's a DuraShield polyurethane and silicone coated. All of these seams are tape sealed again. Everything's reinforced around the guy out points. Really good airflow on this tent, which for me does make it only a 3-season tent. The zip is genius and potentially a flaw as well. So most zips on this kind of tent, they go up the centre. So when you're trying to unzip it, you know, from when you're in the tent, you've got to reach right into this corner. Sometimes it's really difficult. However, with this design, it's easy. You just reach from the side of your tent and you're really close by. So it's unzipping and zipping is a doddle. However, if it's chucking it down with rain, you might be able to see the potential flaw here, because rain can drip off this area here and, you know, go into your tent. But you may notice they've got little channels on here, so the water actually runs down the outside of the zip. But you know, direct rain in there, you know, you're going to get a little bit of water anyway. If it had been raining all night, I'd definitely tap the fly a little bit from the inside before unzipping. But while we're on the subject of rain, with it being an inner pitch tent first, I've made a little bit of a modification, which I'll show you in a moment, you know, how you can pitch the fly without the inner. As things stand, you know, you can't do it with this tent. So I'll get the fly off and show you what I've done from a little modification. So as it comes packed, the only way to pitch this tent is to put it inner first like this. But for my little mod, all you need is something like this. I think it's this 2mm Dyneema cord. To make the mod, you just pitch the inner first like this. Got a little loop on the centre of my cord. Pop that underneath the pole. And then I've pulled the cord so it's in a straight line triangle from the pole. And then put another little loop on it. So basically it's under a very tiny amount of tension there. As you can see, that's running to that pole over there. Get the other end of the cord. Imagine it's long. And then I measured it and then put another little loop on this end, and that fits under that pole. Run the cord along there and then finish off the triangle, you know, using the same method with the loop. That's how I originally got the dimensions for the cordage. I'll get the inner out now. Now you can see a little bit better what I've done. So the pole is in its structure. It's just held on by the little bits of Dyneema cord. Now I can attach the outer fly. Still have to connect this centre pole. Through the eyelet. So that's the tent. Outer pitch first. Make a really good tarp, that. So that's the MSR Freelite 2 Ultralight 2-person tent. I really like it. Very versatile bit of kit, very lightweight, loads of room inside. It's definitely not a 4-season shelter though. I'm a little bit sceptical how it's going to perform in high winds, but we'll give it a go. I'm not going to go in crazy winds, but something quite moderate, I'm sure it'll handle, if pitched correctly. Right, I'm going to get this packed up. Thanks for watching, I really do appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.